Decim Caladan 2.
reading the bloody
Revengeance.
hearts of his young family.
The
Well,
resummering of
if there's
Kinsley.
anyone, like, it's almost like this story's happened before, where an heir is taken away and an uncle stays home at the keep, and when the heir comes home, the uncle is like, "No, I shall rule," and attempts to kill the heir, who then escapes narrowly. I mean, it seems like it's a story we've heard before from the other
I feel
side.
as if that has been referenced before in this very campaign. That's actually the truth. Whenever Lanny's actually like about to be promoted to like Lord, like Aaron's dying, like
Lord Peak poisoned him. Terrible. Son, remember I didn't let you take the vows at the Citadel. Come home now. Huh?
No, it is time.
Have an inheritance for you. And a wife, Dawn, who's recently been widowed.
And miscarried, yes. She fell down the stairs and miscarried. It was tragic.
I don't think we'd have to worry about her cowering as much as the supposed lady from Appleton would. Well, Lanny, have fun at the party. I packed your lunch for you.
Hugs and kisses!
Lane is going.
Can I backhand all of you?
What did I do?
I'm not sure you'll be able
Okay,
to
sorry,
reach.
all of you but Tina. Tina, you're fine.
Actually, let me show you. Hugs and kisses. Mwah. Mwah.
I want to punch my in that voice.
I know you have difficulty dragging yourself away from your beloved sister, but come along now, Lannis.
Reset sort of gives you a glare. You say that.
That's right, bitch. Suck it.
He smiles and says, I shall do my best to take care of things while you're gone. Well, Bree and I will bond over it. The guards at the gate look at one another.
Take cold shiver from that.
Well, you'll think, well, the last time Brian was set, bonded over something, they killed a lot of people, so we can only go well. Well, I made sure I trained her so she wouldn't die, Bree, so she's not gonna die. At least not without a fight.
You're not helping.
He has to look at her as you need to stop talking now. Can't keep saying these things.
Just
Well-
gently walk her away from the alcohol.
Uh-huh. Well, Nima's not nervous about it. She trusts Rosette. And Bree.
Oh, that's at least one who does.
They haven't given Nima any reason not to trust them so far.
That's
So.
right.
I trust both of them.
Said that to Reset, Bree is just, I mean, Lennis would know, is just the result of what happens when you try to teach, or try to, like, when you take a lady and then, like freaking make her into this reachlender, like, abomination of a person, and then they get out of that environment for just a little bit. That's what happens. They don't want to take your shit anymore. Bree's just a little bit more Dawnish than the rest.
Suddenly screaming.
Ah!
And
the guards begging for mercy.
Lennis better believe that that if they have a daughter first, she will get a claim.
Oh my god, I'm
you
seeing
have-
like this intrigue now with like old man Decim. It cannot be a daughter. It cannot be.
You can't intrigue it into being a son. Doesn't work.
No, just like the
That's a
intrigue
good
of like
point.
he's sitting around with like an old elderly like Maester Cole, like, we must abort that child. If the moment we see like a vagina instead of a penis, that's it. Child goes out the window. There's no alternative.
That's not how
You
it works.
will drop that child, Maester Cole.
Uh,
And he's like, but my lord, you will do it.
you know this is how I start conspiracy plots against you, right?
That is murdering of an innocent, but okay.
There's
No,
nothing
it's-
innocent about that baby.
No, first of all, that baby is not innocent, and second of all,
Came out of a snake.
it was an accident.
He killed one family member, all right, He can live with it. He killed
I
another one.
like
He
this.
felt pretty
I like-
good about that.
I
He
like
killed a
this.
third one. Now he just can't stop.
I like the idea actually
like cashews.
of Lanus. You need to burn a destiny point. Make it a sun.
Forcing him to
Not
take
how it
her to
works.
use a destiny point. What?
That is how it works. In
That's
the
how
rules,
it
that's how it
works.
works.
You know what I find amazing? She counters with a destiny point.
Oh, she's gonna burn one back. He's like, nope. It's gonna be the most intense love scene I've ever
And
seen.
then they both die from like no
Collapse from it's like, well, that was weird.
I'll complicate
no
matters. I burn a
skills,
destiny point. They have quadruplets.
Yeah.
It's like this
She
earthquake.
suddenly just gains scars on her face as she takes another thing to get another destiny point.
It's like earthquake lovemaking system. Reduce the castle to ruin.
So who could spend the most destiny points?
They're both like super ugly and crippled.
What an amazing
Take off
fantasy, but maybe
Yeah,
get
that's probably not
back.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree, McGrimmith.
we would call it Destiny's Child.
I
So
want to
who's
put my
gonna
fist
go?
through them.
I'm gonna go.
Gate if you're gonna go.
Move to what?
The gate. of The castle. No?
Yep.
Do you want to bring any NPCs?
Are we gonna bring Lucas?
Probably not.
You want to bring Ashra, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that means also Manfur goes because you go.
By the way, I finally found a picture that I'm gonna use permanently for when Nima dresses as a girl.
Oh.
There we go. It's the same artist, so it kind of still looks like the normal Nima.
Most of the people that were here at the 20 have left now.
Yay! The Ashford is left as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Good. Don't want to spend time with those losers.
Hope Samwell Tarley comes to visit the castle while you guys are away.
Oh no. Well, actually, good. He can talk with you.
I'm okay with that. I get deranged people, Jonas.
You're the Malkavian of the group.
Do you know that if they kill one brother, it would only be one more to make you the heir?
Well, actually, according to the succession chart, it's uncles before Don.
It is.
That you know that works. Well, you don't have
Bros
that
before
many of
hoes.
those.
It's true. You don't.
According to the suggested line of succession, I'd have to go through
Pretty
4
far
other
down.
people first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
And
rough.
how
for Bree.
many are going to one place now?
You know,
Right.
Nima will look at Decim and be like, "So how are you gonna party? Do you even know how?"
I'm gonna party like it is 189, baby.
Fast forward, like a flash forward, Decim's like lifting up the cane. Woo! It's all these ladies from Lys are like shaking their things around him.
Yep.
He like takes a big swig of the pipe.
Well, Nima will wear the courtier garb. I doubt I'm gonna need. Are we gonna? Nima, look at this. Are we gonna expect trouble? Should I bring a
Yes.
sword?
Yes.
Fine, Nima will bring a.
We're
sword.
basically going there to kidnap someone.
No. We're
If you sort of search around a little more as well about the place, you can do that as you go along. It is certainly seems to be sort of a get together from all sorts of foreigners, discussing their foreign weird things like
Oh, there's nothing
alchemy
like
and herbalism,
Oh, nice! It's
Korean
gonna be so
politics.
fun.
drugs, and pretty white-haired, purple-eyed ladies, that sort of thing.
Nina's gonna feel right at home.
It's gonna feel odd.
Oh, it's gonna be odd. Yeah.
So for people who have an interesting interest in those sorts of topics, they'll feel right at home. Likely also some Lyseni wine. They despise cider there because, well, That's kind of what their rivals make a lot of.
They're going to cider hall.
Yeah, weirdly
They're
enough.
not drinking.
Again,
cider.
that's why Sir Fossway is so sad.
Yeah.
You know?
He's got all of these people coming, but they won't drink his cider.
Nima's gonna have the courtier garb on, but bring armor and sword in a discreet way.
Most
Bree,
strangers wear weapons generally.
Even a Bravosi sword.
Your
Different
Hiroshi.
lists. Yeah.
You're provoking.
Even if
so.
Nima dresses as a female, would it be weird to bring a Bravosi sword, wouldn't it?
Then it probably would, yeah.
Well, Nima is gonna ask if Elric can carry her sword. This once.
I mean,
That's like a courting rite, I'm sure.
No, it's not.
you know, just this
gonna
once,
be-
Alaric will do it.
It's gonna be packed in.
Here, Manfred, take it.
You can't tell. She's basically packed it in.
Well, don't you want to be able to like quickly grab it off of him?
Of Manfred or you?
Off either, really. Like, if there's a fight, don't you want to be able to like just walk over to said person and take it?
I just love the image of like
Sure.
you like kicking like Manfred in the back to like speed up like the drawing of the sword, just like knocking the ground.
Nima
poor
would not
Manfred.
feel okay with Manfred walking around with.
Manfred walks around
He
with.
carries like
expensive stuff.
Elric's shield in both his hands.
Yes, but this
Time.
is a very special sword.
Hey, he's the current heir to the marshes.
He has like a little. He has a little like stool that he has to walk up to like give you your armor on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're so huge. It's just a really hard job being your
It's a
squire,
step
carrying
ladder.
all your shit and such.
He's going to be so strong, though. So strong.
That's why he's here.
Exactly.
No, like back problems at 16.
No, Manfred cannot carry that sword. The
All right,
end.
fine. I'll carry the sword, but
Thank you.
Alaric will like put it on his
And
off.
then when he's finally ready to become a knight,
Yeah.
present him one final challenge. Like open up the gate and it's Bree standing.
He just
You
runs
must
away. No.
bypass her and get through the gate.
She's, she's she's a dragon, really, of House Caladan.
At that point, she'll also be an adult and have like 5 athletics with 5 bonus dice in strength. She'll just be Hulk.
Manfred just likes reading.
Aw.
And
He
eating
wants
things
to-
from the kitchen, I've seen him.
Yes, we've seen you, man.
Well, you know,
Damn it, man.
Something going, boy. You know, another boy, Everin, used to do that quite a bit to grow big and strong. And look what happened to him. Good. Oh.
His horse is still here.
This horse is still here.
Well,
He didn't get to bring it.
Well, I think that's
should
Breeze now.
No,
Oh, I
it's
suppose
called
it should
Aaron's
be.
horse.
Yeah, but it was Breeze.
probably shouldn't
I bought it for him.
here.
Shouldn't be there. There we go.
Yeah.
well,
Headfront.
yeah.
Well, let's go.
Ashra took him away.
Yeah.
That's
Hasn't
true.
been seen since.
You haven't
We
even
should probably
asked him,
send a
have you?
raven asking how he is.
I mean, you
Ask him
could.
after him. Let's send a raven to the boy. To the boy. Ask how he is, Desmond.
You know, just
How's my
give
boy?
Desmond the message, and Desmond will send things with the ravens. It's fine.
Okay.
How's my boy?
Here's the message from your son. Oh wait, you can't read it.
Why you gotta go there? Why you
So
gotta go there?
cruel.
Maybe that's
Why
what
is
so
Alaric should
cruel?
learn instead of warfare. How to read the notes his soldiers
My
write for him in
dad,
order to be
I
a better
had to
commander.
make another boy write this for me. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Everett doesn't know that I'm just writing blah 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 and taking his money.
Sucker. Oh, what a
Alaric,
nice
like,
note.
looks wide-eyed and like happy. What does it say? What does
Then
it
he was like, he's very happy with it.
He loves you very much and is proud of you.
This makes sense.
We keep this up. You guys will never leave this keep.
Let's leave. Let's
Alaric
Go to
just
this-
sobs.
lice party.
There, Alaric. It's not as bad as all that.
Bree will
You
be
wouldn't lie to me, would you?
from the castle tower, the gate.
Would you, Des? You wouldn't
She,
lie to
she is the honor of the house. I'm sure she will do wonderfully.
me? Yeah.
Don't let the Dornish snake coil around you and strangle you with his Dornish ways.
Punch her in the face if you have to.
Yes.
Don't kill her with that punch, though.
Well, I mean, things
elect
happen.
not to kill her.
Yes.
That stands seriously. Portcullis goes down behind you.
The portcullis closes and she just gives a sly smile. Yes.
The Dornish guards inside. The Caladan guards outside. Standing.
All
That is
100 men are just there.
absolutely not acceptable. That is absolutely not
The
acceptable.
true strategy. I'm siding with House Wyronwood.
Would be, I mean, sure. At that point, I
they're
would just
not
be,
that
yeah,
bad.
well done. That's campaign over for me.
It's done. Let's go to Bravos.
I mean, it's a better house than ours.
I like
That would be
Lothan.
some scandal. House Caladan has relinquished their loyalty to House Tyrell and brought their loyalty to Martell's. They
Oh.
declare themselves a Dornish house.
I bet
with
the
Dornish
king.
Scandal.
I would love to give that heading to the king in an alternate universe. The king's like, oh,
My God, this is plus. This is never
fuck
happened.
is that?
Butterwell, Butterwell.
Get over here, Butterwell!
But the harvest. Oh God, oh God.
Can you imagine the look of Thorn's face if he gets that missive?
Oh, that'd be so bad.
We are Dornish now.
Peake's like, you see? And Longthorn's like, I can't fucking.
Now that at least they don't have a vote.
Oh.
Oh,
First
shit.
campaign of the marshes would be to take back these salt.
So the party leaves the keep.
Yes, we travelled to Cider Hall.
The small castle.
So we're going to Fastaway.
Yes, to House Fossway.
Gonna
The
be
dude that walked out during the meeting.
Because
Cider
like
Hall
he was like the
is-
honorable.
The dude I pretended to be a lady in waiting for.
Cider Hall is basically it's a lot of land with just plantations everywhere, and then there's the actual keep building. They don't really have a wall around it. It's sort of the keep, and then their little castle town around it without the wall. They never had prioritized the wall. They are at a good spot though, because you can only really bring an army towards them from one direction.
Oh.
As the river sort of forks and protects them well from the other ones. Perhaps that is why they haven't built a wall. Enjoying their little bridges instead.
It would be unfortunate if someone showed up with trebuchets.
Well, they haven't really been much in a war zone, being sort of in the middle of the reach. People generally either just walk past to get to Highgarden or further south, or battles happen up north. The Reach have been pretty united in the last couple of civil wars. They were just walking up to the Riverlands and then burning and pillaging everything up there.
How lovely.
Another reason for the high population and good infrastructure and general wealth is that war usually doesn't harm the Reach that much. They go to other people's places and do it. Except in the marshes, of course.
Fight all the goddamn time.
Am I to just make up a story who I am, or do you want a story for me? Who I am and why I'm coming with you?
I'm sure it can figure something out. I mean, it might even be a place where you say, I'm from Bravos, and then we'd be like, oh, great. We love you people.
No, they don't. They don't. No.
It's filled with
Oh, you
weirdos.
went to the
You're pretty
Bravos
fine.
room.
Yeah,
The Bravos room.
the Bravos room. It's a place filled with weirdos. Like, from the
Like
perspective...
Bravos.
Bravos
from
and
the
Lice don't really
perspective.
like each other. At least Bravos does not like Lice.
Lice is known for its. If you want
It's
a bet slave, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nima
That's
might
their
not
big
like
thing.
it here, so maybe we should advise Nima to, like...
Eugenics is another big thing for them.
Okay.
What?
Ah,
It's like breeding humans to get desired traits.
Oh yeah.
lovely.
Such an industrious people.
Yes.
They
Shut
have,
up.
They have no nobility. It is ruled by wealth. Whereas the most rich is on their in their ruling council,
Makes sense.
and wealth makes right most of the time. If you're very wealthy, you can do whatever the hell you want. If you're not very wealthy, then the wealthy people will hire people to murder you. Lysa is known to protect their citizens. Like, that's their utmost thing. The slaves, they don't give a damn about, but their citizens are generally high priority. They have never fielded an army that had actual citizens in it. They always just hire whatever mercenaries they can get from anywhere to hurt the people who want to threaten them. They are known to deal well with many of the pirates of the Stepstones when they need like assistance fleet for their own generally just conscripted merchant ships.
So is this what Nima's gonna basically Nima telling what
It's
he
like
likes
it's like the common knowledge of they usually fight with Mir and Tyrush, over the disputed lands, which no one really conquers because it's the same couple of mercenary companies who keep fighting for either one, switching sides every so often. It's a good place to go get wealthy and then leave. Yeah. Recently, though, they have made alliance with Tyrush.
Well, how nice.
Trade blockaded Mir.
I mean, they probably had good reasons.
Let's go with yeah.
If there's one thing Nima does not like, it's slavery. Just
So, while people are gone, what does Bree plan to do at home? And how does she feel when she sees them sort of leave? And
Well, there is a small sense of worry replaced by a great sense of relief because, as it turns out, despite her eagerness to go to Will, she does hate traveling. Considering how traveling was how she got put in her spot in the first situation. That being said, she's interested in doing something, and now there is effectively no one who has any chance of telling her what she can and can't do. But Agatha, Maester Cole,
Sir Ryman.
I mean, there's Rosette, but as it turns out, Bree does like Rosette. After everything that happened with Rosette saving her life, Bree has not forgotten. Bree, however, that's how Bree feels. She wishes her family well. She is confident they'll succeed because how could they not? Everything has gone amazingly well, and this affords Bree the opportunity to grow on her own, which probably would just consult of her just like lazing around like in her room talking about bed happily while staring out like the window and over the ramparts. But as it turns out, the lowborn, the damn peasants, the most ignoble and near worthless of like time and effort are disappearing. Surely because they're like getting drunk or trying to steal resources in some fashion or another, and they're just trying to hide or disguise their own incompetence and ineptitude. I mean, we already like restored law to the region. The Lornmen are gone, but like the panic breeds more panic, and left unchecked, who knows what peasants will do? Like it's happened once before. It'll probably happen again.
So it sounds like she's going to initiate purges.
She will not initiate purges, if only because then she would have to like try to come up with a convincing explanation why.
Come back and just burn. The countryside is
Kill
burning.
every
You're like,
third man, woman, and child in our land.
she's doing that thing from Alpha Centauri. She drones
A
them.
special kind of god would probably be needed for that sort of thing. Most gods would be like, no.
Sorry, Bree will use all of the power of the house to train her own unit.
Breeze brutes.
Yeah, I joked about if I
The
ever got
Bree
enough
men.
person. If I ever got
Bree
enough,
men.
if I ever got enough personal glory, I would do that. But glory is typically a group thing, alas.
A Bree too far.
At any rate, that's how Bree feels. She's excited to have this opportunity to not have to worry about Decim being all disapproving and wagging his finger. Not that he controls her anyway. He's not even the ruler, not by a long shot.
Though he sometimes forgets that.
He most certainly does with his arrogance. Bree tolerates him because of how useful he is to the house and how useful he was to dismantling House Will. But Bree has not forgotten what he has done to her. How does Rosette feel?
Well, Her husband is leaving again, but he
That's a good
travels a
sign.
lot. It's the general, it's how this whole noble marriage thing works.
Ray will say, that's a good thing for Lanny. Lanny is typically so cloistered and has not had the opportunity to get out much due to what happened with me and what happened with his older brother. It's actually a good sign for him being an actual person instead of a book.
Beyond that, I think we're going to be having meetings, if you wouldn't mind attending. I'm sure Lady Nalia would love to as well.
Sure.
So I'm
Oh,
sure the three of us can rule perfectly fine in their absence. Perhaps even
I
prove what we can accomplish.
well, I like to think that we have proved our capabilities for some time, and I've certainly proved my capabilities to the household for years before you even married Lanny. After all, it was my wealth that helped to rebuild the castle. She gives like a derisive like harumph. So I'm not really sure whether we could actually prove anything to those thick skulls.
Well, not to them, of course, but to the common soldier, servant, or small folk. It's perhaps time for them to know that this place is not like it used to be with regards to our, well, sex.
I agree.
Yes, Doran has some good ideas about how this is done, and it's worked well for us for a long time. Says, I was considering allowing women into our military forces.
Bree looks at Rosette and says, well, how would you start with that? We are the two most trained women I know of in the entire Reach.
It says, well, we would start by training some, I would imagine. Perhaps say that we believe in a dangerous world, it's important for the women of our land to be able to defend themselves and invite them here to give them some, perhaps even paid training. Those who might take a liking to it or stand out, well, we would perhaps position them at a later point.
Bree nods effusively. Absolutely. I have plenty of gold dragons to spare. I think that something like that could be done.
The local husbands may disagree, but, well, perhaps the women will teach them about that once they learn how to wield a spear.
That, and I don't think the husbands will complain when silver starts flowing and the husbands initially realize that they'll be suckered into the idea of, oh, their women are going to make more money than they ever would normally. They can be spared, surely.
I think we see eye to eye then, and with Nelia's skill at making the papers, I'm sure we could do this.
Bree nods, wholeheartedly in agreement.
We have at least a moon to get started. And, well, if we get far enough, it'll be difficult to stop the whole process, as that will agitate the small folk a rather large amount, which I'm sure
Yes.
is in no one's interest.
Yes, and to start with, one opportunity for us to may ensure that we are able to get as many women as possible is to resolve this whole matter of disappearances. These small folk are already agitated. If we could less agitate them and demonstrate our capabilities, then that will ensure we have as many women come to the castle as possible.
It's perhaps even stating that this is, at first, a way for this to not happen again.
Yes, and no small folk will have to look very far to find an example of what happens whenever a girl cannot defend herself. Bree says pointedly, and like the smile wholly drops at that.
It's, the Lady Catelyn may not enjoy the prospect as much, but I should think that she might want to take a romantic trip with her new husband.
Absolutely.
He might show her the forests and the lands around our place.
Yes. After all, she is wed. She has an entire future swept off her feet by
A wonderful night at
Sort
a
of shakes her head.
tournament.
There's something, Arthur.
Yes.
But that is, of course, her choice. She says, sort of, certainly a little bit derisively. Says, I'm sure they will be impressed when they come back. She looks over the horizon where you can see the small figures sort of moving.
Bree snorts, I don't know about that. The man is a good fighter, at least. He was on my team in the Grand Melee.
So she's, I suppose that's something. I did see and wonder, but
Wonder what?
well, why he would have, how that came to be.
Well, I had not planned on joining the tournament, but he approached me directly as a go-between for one of the hidden helmeted knights, the one in green, whom I fought alongside, who apparently vouched for my skill. I'm sure he must have heard about my great capabilities in Dorne.
As well, you certainly proved that you have them. Perhaps another reason that we might be able to get a few more recruits than usual. I should like to see a regiment, perhaps. Or at least an armed populace.
She nods. That way the small folk can be entrusted to defend themselves so that the lords who have so many other problems don't have to spend their time thinking about them.
We shall perhaps even give spears to those who excel. They're weapons that are cheap enough for the small folk to maintain by themselves. It's why we use them so often in Dorne.
She nods effusively. I'm not too familiar with that myself, but I certainly cannot disprove how effective they are.
Our
Prove that.
Our soldiers from Dorne will do well at training them. It's partially why I wanted them to come here.
Alternatively, Bree says, in addition to that, I have some other skills I know, things that a man can't take away. Bree gives a mischievous glint.
Rosette sort of gives a frown and says, if you're speaking about the weapons of a lady that are so often talked about in the Reach, then I have no interest in such matters.
No, I'm not.
Good. She sort of rolls her eyes.
I don't think that, and she looks down at her scarred leathery hands. I don't think these count as the weapons of a lady in the Reach.
She shrugs and says, I have only been here for a very short time.
I can safely assure you that I am the only person of my kind that I know.
Says, well, if you teach them what you can do, then...
Every man has his weaknesses that aren't social in nature. I think I demonstrated that at the tournament.
It's just, you did. Certainly did better than I did.
Well,
I was armed.
Well, Bree sort of shrugs. You are very capable in many fields. I would have bled out if it were not for you. So in essence, my success is because of you. It's your success.
He grins. Says, well, let's make a lot more of that then.
Yes.
She looks out, sort of warmly smiling at her husband as he's leaving in the horizon. It is good to have a husband who leaves so often. Now she's going to go and look at the sword and wear it around.
Bree,
Look at the sword and wear it around.
that Lanny was taking that.
What have we done?
I don't have that on me.
Oh,
Are you going
okay.
to bring it?
Yes.
Okay, then
God.
she's going to disappointedly see that it's gone, and, we'll use a spear instead.
Bree says, you're better at the spear anyway.
What the hell is it with her and that sword?
It's a very
Valerian's
nice
sword.
sword. It's really great to hold, yeah.
She keeps talking
It's
about
a pretty
it.
damn nice weapon.
You know, maybe if Lanny is so successful, maybe we can get you, I don't know, a weapon made out of that same material.
Says, I should think that would be possible. There are not
You
too
deserve
many of
it.
them in Dorne, as well. The Roina wasn't really great friends with the Valerians.
No, but there are certainly those out there somewhere, and considering your skill, I think that you deserve it.
Well, thank you.
I don't really think a spear for that would be useful, but there's got to be some weapon made out of metal that you will like.
Because I've been trying to train with a sword, but it is very different from a spear.
She frowns. I can't. The only thing I really know about is from Nima, and that involves swords to some extent. Bree sort of chuckles a bit.
It's a strange sword. It's all thin.
It is, but I think it suits your style more than one of those blocky swords that men use. It relies on quickness, and you have plenty of that.
Maybe I should ask her about training.
Nima would be more than happy. Nima showed me, but if Nima gets busy, I know the basics. I would be able to teach you.
Yeah. Yeah, we should look into that.
Absolutely.
If we're going to lead forces at some point, look into the empty county yard, imagining the rows and rows of lady soldiers with spears and...
Have you spoken much with Nelia? I don't really approach her. I didn't.
I have some.
Okay.
She's very courteous.
Yes, she is.
Diligent. But doesn't really like to get personal.
When she looks at me, it's as if I can tell that she's trying to ignore how I look.
She sort of frowns. Is that another reach thing, I imagine?
She's from Bravos.
Oh.
Yes.
She hides her accent well.
She does. She came here some moons before you arrived.
I would think she had been here all her life, from the way she carries herself.
Yes, she was, I suppose she was prepared to rule. Bree deadpans.
Just sort of stops. Just an awkward piece of silence. Mm-hmm. Well, she certainly does the work that I don't know how to do well enough. All the boring paper stuff.
She has skills that I would say neither of us possess.
And we need a third anyway.
Absolutely.
Aegon had were 3. 2 of them were women. Wonder what we can do with 3.
Yes. It's a shame her younger sister is... And then, looking over the 2 figures. Well... 3's a good number.
Maybe with 3 we could even conquer Dorne. Sort of smiles, probably proudly. Her own joke.
Bree will... pretty much goes over her head.
A history joke.
Yes.
Turns out the Dornish do take some pride in the fact that dragons didn't do anything. They just killed the dragons that came.
I love how that's plural. It's
and
been
the princess.
exaggerated a bit.
I knew great things would happen once you guys left the... I knew it!
So your trip generally is easy. It's a nice sort of stretch of land, assuming that you actually ride the way there and don't try to go for a riverboat. Between sort of nice first into slight bit of Cairn lands, and then it's really just Peak and Tyrell lands. Just stretch into actual Fossaway lands. All have their stuff pretty well together, everything considered. You certainly do make it towards the lands of Cider Hall, the Fossaways, in time. The journey is... I mean, it's journeying as the thing you're doing, so it's just much like riding every day. It's not really a lot of fun. There are taverns along the road, that you can rest in if you prefer. Or you can have your own sort of sleeping arrangements.
Well, I think we stay in the taverns.
All right. There certainly is a little bit of talk of a thing or two. It seems that that well, of course, the news that I hear is still here. Some people say that that Gallows Grey has had a few people been infected with the plague, and some people even say that Respite had an infection of the plague recently, and that those who are smart should travel to the west, where far away from the plague, because it's spreading like wildfire. This is one of the things that are being said. Another one is that apparently the alchemists of King's Landing is very angry at someone who apparently tried to sneak in and steal at their secrets, and that he's hiding somewhere in these lands, with potentially the knowledge of how to make wildfire easily and perhaps even faster than they do it in King's Landing, which is why they're so angry at him. Who knows what he's going to burn? Some people say he's absolutely crazy. And is just waiting to burn things. For whatever reason. Hey, peasant talk.
Sure, yes. I mean, if we could get a
Some people say
crazy
the
alchemist
trance
outside.
have made the plague, and that's why it's taking so long for it to get to Gallows Grey. That they'll quickly spread it on to their enemies.
Mm-hmm. Well, rumors aside, we certainly press on.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping an eye out for crazy alchemists.
Mm-hmm. What do you imagine one of those look like?
Slightly like...
Like Lord
his
Trump.
eyes are like... He doesn't blink, he's just...
It looks something like Desmond.
What?
A mix between Lord Trant and Decim.
His eyes wide, never blinks.
Yeah.
And then he constantly licks his lips. Or like cracked.
Yes.
Like if Desmond was another house, I'd be totally trying to stab them.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with Decim? You people and your...
Creepy as fuck.
I'm trying to
I second it.
get this fucking house together, and it's being ruled by crazy people.
A crazy person.
No, you heard me.
You know you'll have higher fighting than you, right?
Fine, do it. Put me out of my misery. And you will have my mark.
So what is the plan for going to this party? What are you planning to do here?
Hunt out Halen. And
The main plan is to
half drag him home. Yeah.
find Halen, talk to him, try to assess if he is a friend or foe, if he can be turned back to the house. If he cannot, then we will move forward to our plans to discredit him. That is the general plan. We might also, if opportunity strikes, want to try to kill the lady of the house.
What?
The Lady of Liss, who has ensnared the old lord.
Oh. What a Fossway?
Yes. And thrown out the son of the house, so he basically can't do anything. He's just sitting around, can't do anything, because the Lady of Liss is ruling the house, and she is doing some stuff that seems very likely that she is preparing to ally with Bittersteel.
Yeah, interesting.
She's known as Lady Nuera of Lys. Or Lies. Yeah.
So
Well,
that would
I still
be-
have night.
People say she's a strange sorcerer,
Mhm.
snakes and stuff.
I
But
still
hey,
have
who is
the nightshade, don't I? I didn't give it back.
You do, yes. But in her case, that would be probably a stabber.
Yeah, but
Lys is known for their skilled poisoners. If you anger a merchant family from Lys, you should not eat or drink anymore. It's said because it is safer, and you will live longer when you die from thirst and starvation than if you actually do take anything into you. They do both the tears of Lys are a very well known poison that they make, and also the strangler.
Terrible way to die.
Indeed.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have
indeed.
lots of other ones, of course.
Of course.
They're less well known.
That's the widow favorite one.
It's also
Yeah.
incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why you know that.
Tears of Lisa.
Has to be imported.
It's very difficult to make, and can only really.
Well, the Strangler's like.
yeah, but I think
obvious.
that's as far as I'm concerned, that's the plan. Find and talk to Hale and Caladan. See if we can bring him back. If we can't, then we move forward our plan to discredit him, and if we get the chance, maybe kill off the lady Liz.
Sure. I suppose we can just. Well, we're gonna go deep into it next session. We can do your like arrival. So that's done with. As you sort of arrive in the city, it certainly does seem to be sort of bustling a little bit. It's not really a city as much as it is just a castle town, but certainly there are lots of strange-looking people around in like robes with hoods and like under some of the hoods you can see crazy-colored hair, blue or green. You even see a few people in like red robes with flaming hearts symbols on them.
Oh.
Oh no.
I mean, we're already like tearing down every tradition we have in this house, so why not invite? I'm sure
You
gold will
would
be
see guards who seem to be dressed in sort of a very foreign-looking armor. Their armor is sort of made of almost like a blue-greenish scales, and they have almost Roman-looking helmets on them. Although you're really no Roman, but that's sort of a Voluntis looking sort of thing. They also seem to have sort of white hair, and generally they all look very pretty. The guards standing outside the keep. The front sort of door portcullis is up as people just are drizzling inside for what seems to be a greeting. Being greeted at the inner hall.
Sure.
Gonna be.
The guards seem to greet people in a language that no one but in basically New Valerian,
Yeah, Lanus understands.
I understand it vaguely.
welcoming them to Cider Hall.
All right. Well.
Well, red priestess are not unusual in Bravos because every religion there is basically welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
They're very unusual in Westeros.
One of the largest temples for the Red God are in Lys. It's in Lys. There's a lot of them there. They generally buy a lot of slaves there for their red sorcery and such.
Yeah, well, need things to burn.
Yeah, or they have a crusading military force to further their goals. Made of rescued slave children. But regardless of that, they're standing here. The house guards that might have been here, like Westerosi people, aren't really to be seen. These might be mercenaries of some sort of thing. It's very unorthodox, certainly. How would you approach this situation?
Well, since we are here officially for the party, we would follow the guest trail, I suppose.
There's a nervous Westerosi stable boy who accepts your horses. Just you glancing nervously at all the strangers. Takes them. Doesn't say anything to you. Probably presuming that you can't speak his language.
And then we will proceed into the hall to be greeted by the lord or the lady or someone.
Whatever's going on.
Get the lay of the land to find out what's going on. And
You basically go in there and you see sort of a white-haired, purple-eyed youth in a what seems to be like a purple silken robe of some sort. And he has like a tall hat, standing there, greeting, small talking with people, while another white-haired, pretty boy, a little younger than the young man, it has sort of like a tray with a little bit of strange-looking food on it. And as you're near, you are offered sort of, it's like a little stick with some sort of fish or something.
Hey, fish!
all right, we're right at home.
Nima's happy.
Well, in that case, I guess we will approach and announce that we have arrived for the aforementioned party
Yeah.
and inquire.
Sort of gives you a warm smile and says, and then he will ask in New Valerian if you speak Valerian.
Except in broken, I mean not broken, but unpracticed Valerian, I will kind of respond to him.
What will you say?
I'm a little bit rusty, but yes.
Good. I am most used in speaking in our language. You will find others like yourselves further inside. You are here to be here at the full length of the festivities, yes?
Yes.
And what are your names?
Probably start with Tyrell.
Ezra has no idea what people are talking about. He's just tasting the fish and frowning heavily because it is very, very salted.
You're like, oh my god,
salted
this is the
fish?
best.
Oh,
Nima's just stuffing her face. Oh, great!
It seems to be some sort of very white fish. It is sort of a little slimy and then raw, probably. And then they have taken it and dipped it in salt all the way around on a little stick. So it's basically a slimy piece of fish covered in salt.
oh, I actually know
Probably
what
pretty
type of
expensive due to the amount of salt on it. But
I actually know what type of fish that would be, and it's apparently meant to taste really nice, but it's fucking awful.
it's very salty.
It's meant to be really slimy and salty. If you put like salty as it is, because of the slime.
Anyway, you can always say,
Probably not too bad for Nima. You probably had that at home as a
Yeah.
treat.
I mean,
yeah.
Landis is just going to say honestly, and she told him to say otherwise. So,
All right, sure. So
introducing it, a group of Caladan with the graces of Sir Asher Tyrell, Lord Asher Tyrell, sorry.
Lord.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to have you here, all of you. You sort of say that in very broken Western, sort of pleasure have with you. Very accented to you. And she'll say up. She'll sort of point to the stairs 3 times, and then 6th door. He will basically explain to Lennis that he wants you to go up the stairs and then take basically the 3rd floor and then go for the door number 6.
We'll nod to him, ask him for him to repeat a little bit of it because Landis' Valerian's a little bit rusty, so
He'll
still,
repeat it.
he'll get the gist, and we'll thank him and direct the group.
Say that the castle is open to you and to make yourself at home.
You were just
His
eating
lady
fish.
is very happy to have guests who are new here.
You were just eating the fish while you're talking.
We thank you for your hospitality. Gesture to the group to follow him.
All
Like
right.
we do.
Can we bring
Well,
the
it's-
fish?
Get a smile
Mm.
from the the man. Yeah.
Looks
Nima's
so-
a lady.
True.
Right, I read like a lady.
Looks over to Desmond. Well, it seems the lady is certainly happy to welcome hospitality. Anyway, but I know where to go.
Someone nod.
I knew practicing this would work well one day.
Yes.
I'm a very slightly smug look on Lannister's face.
Maybe I should learn all Valerian.
No, you know Bravosi, that's enough.
You don't need to learn all of these other horrible languages.
Why did you learn Bravosi?
Because I've been over to Bravos.
Because
He
you
hung
know,
out there
brother
for a while.
Right,
It's like,
right.
I don't like slavery, but I want to see the world, so bravos.
Nah, true.
We had fun in Bravos.
Yeah, that's fun
It's
in Bravos.
literally the only non-slave place that's not Westeros. So
The Bastards of Valeria.
Desmond will listen to this and nod solemnly as Nima talks about the bastards of Valeria.
Yeah. And Nima's proud. About it.
Oh yeah. Desmond will.
as you, sorry,
No, he will just nod. Yes, very.
as you reach your room, it is very uncharacteristically sort of in the interior of it is sort of a clearly built Westerosi castle room, rather large one, probably meant to be like a combined study and sleeping bed. But there's set out quite a few sort of half couch bed things. Imagine those sort of, if you imagine like a Roman consul would lay down and have grapes fed to him. Those sorts of things are set in a semicircle. In the middle, there's sort of a rock with a pile of what seem to be sort of brightly colored pillows. On the walls, there are lots of tapestries that are very. I mean, they would make like a sailor blush depictions that are on there. They're all very pretty and very light material, but they are very explicit in the things that are on them. It's just not a godly home.
Is it like in Bravos that wealthy people dress in boring colors and
No, most certainly not.
it's the opposite?
Yes.
And he was like, dude, all
people-
these poor people.
People from Lice have a lot of colors, though the people from Lice generally are just a very pretty Valerian, but and that's basically what you get in here. The people in the tapestries all have the white hair, the strangely like diamond gem colored eyes, and just very amazingly looking people, fit and just like I mean, you don't find people looking that good in Westeros. They're undeniably attractive.
I'm here.
Yeah, you could probably even get close.
I mean, he is attractive.
Yeah. Yes.
This is like, have you seen him?
Have you seen him? He is pretty. Like he is. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn,
He
girl.
maybe he could make his way as a pleasure slave in lease.
You know, that's good. A secondary career, right?
Let's put that on
And that
Planet
is
F.
certainly what is depicted here too, and they are very proud of it because it's, that is their big thing.
Desmond
On
frowned
the
at it.
little table to the side, there's also what seems to be a